FM.
I love the support of Liberia.
So when you put me at Liberia, you start saying, look at the story of we're talking Rwanda. But right now, if your hope, things will get nasty, things will get dirty, because nothing's going to change. Even if you made Jesus Christ Minister of Finance, nothing can change. Nothing will change because the expense is looking you in the face. You have to fund everything.
I see in the next few months a noisy country, a very noisy country, rowdy, a heavily divided, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the end of the story. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woe, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not perfect, but the reality will
we decided to address this aspect and places that are prevalent in the district. So the Western idea became that we started to go after Africa would not be populated across the river. So places in their map is off. Significant number are involved in the experimental initiatives. This issue demands our immediate attention and collective action. We have been called statistics and I would dream so that we have a view of that this other report by from the Liberian estimated million in the these figures and also need information, and I can assure you the
I came on your platform today to provide clarity to a very misleading story that has been circulating, especially on front page.
I can assure you and everyone, Liberian people, that one of my focuses will be on developing Liberian entrepreneurs, giving them the platform to be competitive and enabling environment for them to compete. There are several issues that have affected our economy, our trade environment, beginning with the unique pattern of our country's establishment with our relationship with the US, our trading from the 1800s. That's one. If you look at the sharp division between the anchoring of foreign control enterprises in our domestic economy, that's another major one. For time immemorial, our economy has been dominated and controlled by foreign enterprises and foreign entrepreneurs. We have to break those views in every sector. Those are things that we're cognizant about. Our political instability from the 80s to now impacted our trajectory.
There's an estimated 70,000 employees, including appointed officials in the government of Liberia. These command a total wage bill of $300 billion annually. The growth in the size of government has not been proportional to the growth in the revenue and the efficiency and effectiveness by our government. This means that wage continue to consume a sizable portion of the total budget, strangulating service delivery in all initiatives and obligations of the government. So the government faces a situation of stunted growth and non-investment in the lives of the people.
The training of 10,000 young people in IT in 6 months.
To make the government more effective and efficient, we must focus on public service delivery. The people that the government must come first.
Viva, 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 viva. Viva, Abera, viva. Viva, 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 você deixou. Viva, 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 the next one. Viva, viva. Manda, viva, 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 viva.
The Liberian people are the bosses. They got to know. You want to serve them. They want to know how many cars you have, how many houses you have, how many pieces of land. They don't want to see overnight riches. You're in one small, then after 8 months, they see you in a mansion. You're going to explain it. So we want to take serious. Before you take seat in GMB government, you will tell GMB, you will tell the Liberian people why you brought up home. You will show all your home. We're not joking here. We've been joking with the Liberian people for a long time. We're not going to be joking with them. It's stop. If you're not ready to serve the Liberian people, forget about government. And I can tell you, we'll prosecute anybody who steal. We will audit. Joking here. We've been joking with the Liberian people for a long time. We're not going to be joking with them. It stops. If you're not ready to serve the Liberian people, forget about government. We're not joking here. We've been joking with the Liberian people for a long time. We're not going to be joking with them. It stops. If you're not ready to serve the Liberian people, forget about government. And I can tell you, we'll prosecute anybody who steal. We will audit. I don't want people to understand auditing to be a witch hunt. It's a normal democratic process.
Don't trouble me too much of them. I love you. I miss you. I want you back. Long time no see. Out your love, I'm lonely. Miss you. And it's too hard to bear. What have you done to me? Waking up in the middle of the night without you. And it's so unfair. I thought turn, reach for you, only a pillow. Sun, awake, morning, sun rises, I'm alone, hurts my soul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3. I love you. 4, 5, 6, I miss you. 7, 8, 9, I want you back.
And we are certainly ready. Grateful to God that He allowed us to see another day, having kept watch over us throughout the night and has set us into this day. What a day, rainy day, Liberia.
My food has no taste. I'm losing weight. Thought you could replace all day.
Let me say good afternoon, wherever you are following the show in Liberia, by your geography, wherever you are, your time is zone out of Liberia. Welcome to the show, Bits and Pieces on Voice of Liberia 104.1, Morovia, Voice of Liberia 89.7, Pakata Magibi County, Voice of Liberia 90.7, Bon County, the online radio, if you can follow all of the programs on Voice of Liberia. Dare you, the Voice of Liberia radio.com. Thanks to those community radio stations relaying the show. Can appreciate you the more. My name is Sam Andrews. Edwin Dra is in Pakistan, is on the camera, and we got a couple of things on the afternoon plate. And so you see, those of you understand we are. So as it is the custom, let's acknowledge you as quickly as we can. Then we get started with the afternoon lunch. Jude, not because Zobon you, Zobon Tobe, Zaiti, you come on from Dubai. Jude one way, you also following from Johnsonville. Emmanuel Richardson, you've come on from Super Caldwell, you said. My dear Southeastern sister, Duarte, you come on. Thank you so very much for coming on. Hope that you are faring well. Okay, I know, I saw and watched the video. It tells me that at least you are recovering gradually. Thank God Almighty for you. Papi Keita CC Papi, you are following from Duke Row, very regular on the show. Thank you. Solomon Kwenyemi, you come on from Old Road, Divine Town. Solo Watcosia, you're following from Gardnersville, New Georgia Estate, you said, and you are asking, how was the weekend? It was great, thank God Almighty. His providential care continue to over us. Elita Saki, you've come on from Kakata City, General Market. Honorable D. Mayon, you've come on from Kakata City, Magibi County. Mama, oh, you've come on from where you didn't say, but it's good to have you on. Mohammed Sprina, you are following from where? Well, you know, you've written something very long about Waka, but I think you are following from the United Arab Emirates, Abu Dhabi. Joe Gaffa, you've come on from Jacobtown Market on the tallest upstairs building, you said. Aaron M. John, you've come on from Wilton Corner, Broadville City. And Josiah Andrew March, you've come on from Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, as well as Saturday there. Woodaway from where Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Thank you ever so much. We acknowledge you as you come on. Something Kerry, you've come on from Bagnosville Township District 13. Jackson Tony of Block C, Iron Factory, member of Block Titan. Good to have you on. My dear guys, never miss out on the show. Thank you ever so much for coming on. Jackson Tony Jr. of Iron Factory Block C, as well as Gabriel of Iron Factory. I got the message. Thank you ever so much. The sympathy and comfort more than enough. Thank you ever so much. That good friends are. Thank you for your words of comfort as we go through the times of bereavement. Stephen Coker, you've come on from the United States of America, Minnesota. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so very much, as well as Samson K. And you said 111, not 18. No, Samson, I'm not referring to your blog. I'm referring to the block of Jackson C. Pony of Iron Factory. He lives in Block C according to his information, and he is a member of Block 18. So if you got Block 11 in your area, well, that is good. But in their area, they got Block 18, an intellectual block. Thank you ever so much. So that's it. We have this afternoon, Drum.
Okay, so like you said, we got a couple of things to talk about today, and as you may be aware, after the break of bits and pieces on Friday, now we're some on Monday today. So those pieces that were being discovered on the weekend are to be exposed on today. So all you need to do this wet Monday, just amplify the voice of the radio and get everything please you as it unfolds through the medium in which you get us from Voice of Liberia main studio on Capitals Bypass.
So they first stop the executive mansion. It was January 2nd. The president mounted. Was it January 22nd? No, it wasn't. January 22nd is when we had that messy inauguration. 2 weeks or a couple of, let's just put it at 1 month, few weeks after the inauguration, the president will face the joint house or houses of the legislature to deliver a State of the Nation address, predominantly what he inherited, together with what he has as his ambitious plan. In that address, the president made it evidently clear, with very conviction, that he was going to train 10,000 Liberian youth in IT. What he meant was that in 6 months, 10,000 young people will have gained a full quality knowledge in IT, internet technology, a professional area that will put them on top of the world market, or that they will be uh, competitive, that they will be ready to be absorbed in society, given the knowledge they will have acquired. When the president announced that, the argument went far and wide. People once who said it wasn't possible, and they were explaining their reasons. Another school of thought, from a fanatical standpoint, will say, "Oh, it was possible." And you know that British politics in Liberia, that instant, once the leader says he will do this, everybody goes on as a cheering squad. Yeah, 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 yeah. So from January to June, it's 6 months. If I'm not right, well, you please correct me. If we stayed in the fourth month or fifth month, then you please correct me. And with every humility, I will submit. And because that is the tail law of intellectualism. Yeah. We are in the 6 month. So I am told that the 22nd of this month will make it 6 months. But just like it was with the 100 days, once in count, once you go, you have passed 85 to 86, 87%. The rest is infinitesimal. You don't have to wait for the or say to be on the dot. No. So the president completed, or he had gone 98, 99.9%. And when we said the president completed his 100 days, some of his people said, no, he hasn't. But was, what they did not understand was you don't have much time to do what you said you needed to have done because the time available are far less. So let's take it at 6 months. 6 months. Few days, then the 6 months. From January 22nd, we've got the 22nd of June. So let's assume that he hasn't reached 6 months. So from today to the 22nd, 500 persons can be trained in IT, quality IT education. 3 persons can be trained in 5 days in quality IT education. It's not possible. So the president completed by technical reasoning, by technical reasoning, and by logical reasoning also, literal reasoning, the president has completed. Or probably you may argue literally that he hasn't reached the 6 months because we got a couple of days for that. Okay, I accept that. Technically, he has reached 6 months because in technical terms, You put 500 persons available. The president program cannot train 500 persons in less than few days to complete the 100 days. So those days, nothing significant can be done. So from now to the 22nd, the president office will not be able to say that they've completed their 10,000 training of those young people. One of those librarians who, giving his understanding of Liberia's culture and an IT specialist, also a political figure himself, Simeon Fremont, political leader of the Movement for Progressive Change Party. He thought that the president would have said something lesser than that because 10,000, in his opinion, wasn't possible to be trained in that period. So he most respectfully disagree with the president, but his fanatics would jump out and say it was possible, it was possible.
Training of 10,000 young people in IT in 6 months, President Boyka, which is a joke, clearly is not realized. Training in IT, you don't, first thing first, 10,000 people. Where are you going to gather them in the first place to train them? Let's assume you're not going to gather them to train them. Let's assume you're going to stay in your houses to be trained. So that means government is going to have constant electricity, it's going to have internet availability, or it's going to provide solar to the beneficiaries. That makes that program extremely expensive. And then you can't train anybody in IT in 6 months. What we need to do is to establish STEM education in our existing schools that already have brick and mortar, that already have students sitting in the school, right? Where teachers are, we need to reposition our educational infrastructure because we have all of the information. USAID has done it for us, many other institutions have. So we know the teacher deficit, we know all of these things. So clearly for me, that is just a joke. And if you say, let's take website development. If you want to build a proper website, you need more than 6 months. But let's take the simplest one. If you need to do coding, you need a lot more than that. So, and then how are you going to train these people? If they stay to the houses with the inconsistency of electricity, the fact that they can't afford data, how are you going to train them? So it's not really realizable. So with this STEM education,
And they had a launch. They had a launch. Now, the timing, the timing also was not appropriate. Mr. President advisors did not advise him appropriately. This country is known for misleading presidents because most of the people who are around the president as advisors are sycophants. Why I say sycophants? Because Liberia culture is all, yes, Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President, yeah, Mr. President, we can do it. Yes, Mr. President, it's possible. Yes, Mr. President, there's no problem with that. It is possible, Mr. President. These are the expressions you hear within the presidency. The boldness, the audacity isn't there to tell Mr. President, you want to train 10,000 young Liberians in IT specialty. Given the time you announced when you want to get started, together with all of the factors associated with it, it wouldn't be possible in 6 months. Therefore, Mr. President, you're going to deliver the speech, put it to 1 year, 6 months. Leave room for ample time that you can do a lot more. So most of the people did not advise Mr. President appropriately. They developed the speech, a grandeur speech, ambitious enough. The president goes to the joint legislature. He delivers that speech and he said what he needed to have said, but did not know that these things were not really could not be achieved given the time he attached to it. So we've got a couple of days. I don't wait until when it's 100 days, then wait for 100 days. No. Once we go 99. There isn't the rest of the days or time is infinitesimal. It's not important again because what you didn't do, what you didn't do in 98 days, you cannot do in 3 days. It is not possible. God has not sent that miracle yet. What you have not done in 98 days, given the nature of it, you cannot do it in 2 days. Only God can do that. So, where are we? Now, Mr. President is another thing before drag comes in. Mr. President office, I know that for a fact because I've studied Liberia's governance space for a while now. Mr. President's office going to come out with flimsy excuses, presenting it as a real justification. By now, we should have been informed of the first batch. Given what Simeon Premium said, actually, all of those factors are germane. The thing is purely technical. It is not something that you will go, yeah, we're running this program for 3 years. The professors will come to class, and after it is purely technical. It takes in just the setting of the stage, just the preparation. It takes a lot more. It goes with couple of months. The procurement of those materials, the hiring of the professionals, because you're not just bringing anybody, you want quality IT education imputed into your people. The intent of Mr. President is good, but the way we go about announcing and not getting it off the ground readily has always caused the president to come under severe and damning criticism. I'm not going to wait for the 22nd. We've gone 6 months. Technically, that's how I do my check. Because what Mr. President did not do in 5 months, 5 months, 3 weeks, Mr. President can do it in 1 week. Let's assume that nothing much has happened. Mr. President can do it in 1 week. It's not possible. So technically, we reached the 6 months. Why hasn't Have we been told that the first batch of the 10,000 has been trained? When the recruitment was done, who those? What are the criteria for recruitment? And a lot more. There are too many things to take into consideration. Mr. President, intent is good. It's going to help a number of young Liberians, but the preparatory aspect is training. The way it went, the vision was misguided. So you see where we are. 10,000, a small number. What you going? That's why we get quiet. There are certain things in the president manifesto that he delivered. We have not talked about them. We've talked about some. Some of those we talk about, we'll even go back to it because you know what? Time will allow us to go back to it. Time will demand that we go back to it. One of them is this. Since Mr. President delivered that, I thought to remain silent. It was yesterday running through Mr. President's speeches. And Mr. President said 10,000. And then said, okay, Mr. President, we got just few days. So in few days time, you can train 10,000. You're going to tell us how you have trained. So by now we should know where the 10,000 came from, how the recruitment was done. Was it done nationwide or it was done in a centralized way? That means you're taking people only from Central Morovia. Was it done on on an inclusive basis? That means you're taking people from each of the political parties, or forget about political parties, but Liberians. Whether it is diverse and the professionals, because IT training, they're not rush thing. They're not rush thing. It's purely technical. So who are the people you're bringing? Are they Liberians already here, professionals, or that you will bring people from out of the country to train them? What are the materials? Are they just going to do the theory and the practical is left out? Just as people send the people, they send the people to the radio station week in, week out to learn practical here. So these are questions you want to ask yourself. And I hope they discuss this, Mr. President, and they did not just give you paper to read so that it sounds good in people ear and everybody cheers it up. Listen to Samuel Fremont again, then welcome it.
The training of 10,000 young people in IT in 6 months by President Boyka, which is a joke. Clearly, it's not realistic. Training in IT, you don't, first thing first, 10,000 people. Where are you going to gather them in the first place to train them? Let's assume you're not going to gather them to train them. Training of 10,000 people, young people in IT in 6 months by President Boyka, which is a joke. Clearly, it's not realistic. Training in IT, you don't, first thing first, 10,000 people. Where are you going to gather them in the first place to train them? Let's assume you're not going to gather them to train them. Let's assume you're going to stay to your houses to be trained. So that means government is saying it's going to have constant electricity, it's going to have internet availability, or it's going to provide solar to the beneficiaries. That makes that program extremely expensive. And then you can train anybody in IT in 6 months. What we need to do is to establish STEM education in our existing schools that already have brick and mortar, that already have students sitting in the school, right? Where teachers are, we need to reposition our educational structure because we have all of the information. USAID has done it for us, many other institutions have, so we know the teacher deficit, we know all of these things. So clearly for me, that is just a joke. And if you say, let's take website development. If you want to build a proper website, you need more than 6 months. Let's take the simplest sort. If you need to do coding, you need a lot more than that. So, and then how are you going to train these people if they stay to the houses with the inconsistency of electricity, the fact that they can't afford data? How are you going to train them? So it's not clearly realizable. So with this time education,
Okay, so you listen to Samuel Fremont. At times there are some statements that can be made by government officials, and people will take into consideration and start to watch the workings of that government. President Walker has made a lot of statements, that got the Liberian people clapping and thinking as if his government were being far better and different from the previous government on George Weah White. But it seems to be they seem all many promises former President George Weah was giving, and some of them were not realized. It's similar to what Joe Walker is doing. So the first thing is that the president is turning to be, his statements are turning to be, different. What do I mean? The first statement from the president today, before coming to the 10,000 persons for the IT specialists or stuff, let me take you back. The president will need to be careful on how he just go about making statement on behalf of the presidency. You don't just go about making statement because your officials have written, the piece and have given it to you, and without you doing, analytical reasoning, without you doing an investigation, how you going to do, because we call self discipline and self investigation. When a piece has been written by your officials and given it to you as a president, what you would do is this is why they said you should have an advisor. But not everything the president would take from the advisor. You as a president, you should have a sense of reasoning, sense of investigation. When a piece is written by whatever government official and had it brought to you as a president, you know, this is why this can say the time we can be sleeping at the time the president can be working. Okay, we agree. So what happens is at night, the president is the one to be investigating some of the things they have requested from his office. This proposal of 10,000 Liberian people to be trained in information technology is encouraging, it's welcoming, but it's not timely. What happens is if the president will have taken into consideration and accept that Liberia is challenged, seriously challenged with electricity, If the president was taking into consideration Liberia is seriously challenged, with maybe the pieces of laptop to be made available, who the partner that you think will give you the 10,000 pieces of computer, and how are you going to get the paper instructors to have the 10,000 persons being taught? Are you taking into consideration both hard work and soft work in computer or in IT or the information technology? Are you going to only teach the people the hard work or the soft work? Where particularly are you going to specialize the people? The president, on a day to day, is making a lot of statements that I don't want to consider being a lie, but I go through into it. The first time he came up with the project, it turned to be and the issue of 3,000 Liberians now seems to be a failure. What Mr. President is telling us, what is he turning in? What is he offering us? These things are unacceptable. We got to speak about it. Right? The thing here is nobody should feed the Lord Liberia more than any of us. We are all Liberians. Which country when it's better for all of us. When it is damaged, it's damaged for all of us, and all of us will suffer the same. In fact, some of us will even suffer more than some of them because for them they are in government already. They have a lot of money. They can use and do whatever thing they want to do. But on the average, you got the impoverished people in country, the more than the one that got low work. So now let break the possibility. Let's look at the possibility, of the president's statement to have trained 10,000 Liberians in information technology. The first thing the president is supposed to take into consideration is the internet system in the country. Do we have a stable internet system in the country? Do we have that strong internet system in the country? Yes, at times we can have it, but due to the low resources put behind internet has caused the internet at times to be fluctuating. It's not stable. So the first thing the president should have been thinking on is what can we do to get the internet if we want to launch a study for 10,000 Liberians in information technology? What can we do to have internet stable? That's what the first question he should have asked himself, which he did not ask himself. How can we? Another one could be electricity. You can't run a computer program without electricity. The desktop computer you bring in to teach the people, you can't run desktop computer without current. That's another aspect. The president should have asked himself, we want to launch this program. Liberians will be interested in knowing exactly about the information technology, but do we have the current in the country, the stable current in the country to have the program running? How effective it's going to be, how active this program will be when we have a launch. You got electricity in the country, after 2, 3 hours, you will go. When they go, they take about 4 hours, they come back. When they come back, they go for like 3, 4 hours again, they go. So now when they all happy, they stay on for like 5 hours, you go. So what is the possibility that you think you can run, a smooth IT program being sponsored by a government that we know that anything that is attached to government, people will like just want to use it how they want to use it. And if something goes wrong, they don't want to be accountable. And if something spoil or something goes short, they will not want to sponsor or feature on their own account, but instead they want to wait for government. The president didn't take into consideration the electricity situation we are faced with in Liberia, but he just went on and accepted the peace rating that we can launch this. He saw it as a boost for the government, he saw it as a morale for the government. He joined into it without investigating or without asking himself the possibility. How possible can we run such a program in the country when we got all of the problems associated with our environment? Another thing could be the sitting capacity. The sitting capacity, we will not dwell on that much because it's possible you can have a relationship build, a partnership with bulk of the high schools around town. And when you have the relationship built around town, you can have some of these school buildings, to use their facility. Now another thing is running the program is essential. Having the program decentralized is another thing. How did the president intend to have carried on the program when you got people in river cells, they don't have active electricity? You got people in Bone County, some part of Bone, no electricity. Some people in Sando, no electricity. You know, and most part of the country, no electricity. You can run a computer program without electricity. It's not possible. So, how did the president think about this thing and accepting and launching it and explaining to the people that they will have launched a information technology program for 10,000 Liberians in Liberia?
He was misled. The president was misled.
And he did not do his individual investigation, you know. So another one is after we talk about the internet, internet now that's coming like we were. The first thing we should have thought on how can he boost the system to get the two or the both GSM company like we were to have a stable internet system in the country. They did not think of that. They want to bring the IT fund. The next one is in IT, before you become a full IT, you must know the hard work and software. When you know the hard work, the software, it makes you to be an IT, information technology. So they have people who specialize in the software, do the tap print information or communication on the computer, but they don't repair the computer. Then we have people who do the repair of the computer, do the setting of the computer, set up system, and they do the network of the thing. They do the hardware. So, which program exactly the president was bringing to us in Liberia, we don't know. Whether it was develop both the hardware and the software, or they were only coming to specialize in the software, we didn't know as well. So, up to current, we don't still know as to whether that was how the president was running the program. Now, we look at the issue of data package. Before you run, an institution, you might have created set up a database. And setting up a database, you need to set up a database with a GP where you have access to all of the
So,
equipment material.
all in all, the president was technically misled, not realizable. We've gone 6 months already. Those
Mhm.
couple of days, in Philly testimony, that program isn't
So
realizable
he
at
lied
all.
in that aspect.
Well, I don't want
So,
to say that the
so
president lied, but I think he was
misled.
misled by his people. That's what African advisors do. They, we, our system is a patronage culture. The boss is the patron, and everybody wants to feed on the boss, wants the boss
To favor,
attention.
yeah.
Yeah,
To
so
the what about
uh,
seeking that
yeah,
interest
very
and
few people will look at the president and say this isn't
to be
realizable.
cool, yeah.
Yeah, let us stick it at 1 year or 2 years, and they will explain the technical details. Some advisors will say it's possible, no problem, Mr. President, we can do it. This one can boost your morale. The same way with the free tuition policy that President we are initiated at the
In the
University of
university, yeah.
Liberia. From the
Yeah.
onset, I said, no, Mr. President, we can do it. Mr. President, it's possible. Mr. President, yeah, Mr. President. And then when that announcement was made, people shared their thoughts. Even though they were successful with it to some extent, but
Mhm.
it faced a
They
lot
didn't
of
meet
hurdles.
the actual expectation of people was not really met.
Because Mr. President was not fully briefed on the
Yeah.
details of how it was going to be and all of those. So
Because the first thing
the same
yeah,
way with President Joseph
President Baka,
Imam Baka, I can say that
the
he
first thing
lied.
is
I
that
think he was just
misled.
misled. Let's take a few calls
The
on
first
this
thing
one,
is,
then we move to the next topic. 0770 0770 You have your say on this one, and then we move to the next 0770 You're listening to Bits and Pieces on Voice of Liberia 101, Morovia, Voice of Liberia 89.7, Kakatama Gibi County, Voice of Liberia 90.7, Bonn County, the online radio, www.voiceofliberiaradio.com.
hello.
Hello?
Where you call from?
Emma, we are I'm not safe.
Yeah, we are. Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is what, what we call a topic. Because if you compare your joint, you don't know what you don't know
I mean, we'll see more in there. Actually, I want this nigga not on the video. Thank you for participating very much.
Thank you. Take it to
0770 907 to have your say. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Your name and where you call from?
Yeah, hello?
You are on the air.
Yeah, I'm Kusha for Canada Johnson. I better like Singo say. So say you might will never do nothing better in this country. Nothing who is step up to do this country. You told the people, we all see the difference of the coming in town. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Have a nice day. Hello?
Hello?
Your name and where you call from?
Okay, I'm Anthony K calling from Broadway.
Let's hear you.
Okay, thank you for the topic discussion. Well, everything is well secure. You just wait and see less than 2 months. Everything will be here. They are in the container on the way coming.
What now? What?
The computers, everything will be set up for the students. Everything
No,
will be
no,
ready.
no. Now that is a misconception. You are self-bullied. We're not talking about things in the container. The president didn't say in June
No,
the items will be in the country. The president said in 6 months. Now, the
yeah, for the
president's work,
people.
listen, my dear brother. The
Okay, bro.
president's work starts from the very moment he said, I do solemnly swear, so help me God. Once the president kisses the Bible, goes to his seat, that moment the president's timing starts. The president announced in that same period, 6 months. We've got
Yes,
just
yes,
three.
I agree with you. Okay,
Yeah.
but some
So
of the
don't talk
VIP.
about anything in container.
So you don't want me to explain? Okay.
You have the
Probably
right. I talk for you too. Then you say you want me to talk. Hello. The same thing I talk about flimsy justification
Hello.
people will be coming up with. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
your name, where you call from, you live.
Hello.
You live, your name.
Hello.
Hello, from you.
Hello.
Chief, you are on the air.
You are live.
My man. 0770 907 907 0770 907 907.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Planet.
Good afternoon. Your name, where you call from?
This is Jackson. We're calling from Riverside County.
Jackson, let's hear you. You following us? Jackson, hello. You listening to us?
The man, I'm probably you were calling. The
Yeah.
man
No,
on
I
the
want to
air.
know video.
Jackson to where?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jackson,
the
go
man,
ahead.
the man on the air.
I'm talking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
speak
live,
out.
Jackson. We hear
Speak.
you.
Hello.
Speak, Chief. You on the air. Speak.
Okay, okay, good. My brother, that's a book. I saw my father calling. Did it okay? The meaning is this bucket had to lie. When the people speaking, my brother, God can hear what can be laughing on it. So what I want to tell the government, I think they put them more in, we trade out, you see it, they will do it. Thank you.
All right. You made your point. Hello.
You want to lower your radio? Move away from me. 0770 907 907. You need not increase the volume of your radio. All you have to do, lower it or cut it off and listen by way of the phone. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, hi, my dear brother.
We find your name, where you call from.
Me is Jackson to your farm. I called from Lincoln.
You live, Jackson. Let's hear you.
Yeah, you know, in the first year, our leaders, they always make mistakes inside. The minute when you come in to power, they inaugurate you as a president for our country. What you think you're able to say and what you will be able to you should discuss. But if you get with it like when people hope and today anybody come to pass, it becomes a still like then to follow you it will be very difficult. At least we have commission benefit was always discussing. He set a small record on it. Even when he now continue with it, he tried but they may have sometimes. There's somebody telling you computer into opinion of coming listen with it right? So we cannot listen to that. So they send the computer coming when we see that one thing will not be like wow.
Thank you. No?
Hello?
Yeah, let me wake up.
My name is and I call community.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Alright, so thank you to you for the topic on the discussion. We are not surprised. Some of us are not surprised because for the fact that the president will incorporate those same old people that work under the Silicon regime that corrupt, that embezzle our resources. So we are not going to see anything different. They will come with the intent of reaching themselves because the first place was the railway construction. And yet, when you go in, the same kind all stuff in the mud. Also, when it comes to the issue of the war in economic concord, seeing the effort.
No, we're not talking that. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, let me wake up.
I'm Chris. I'm calling from.
Yeah, Chris, let's hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, that future caller that said the team coming in continue. We are not surprised. From the day 2017, December lost election, he said medicine will come. He brought medicine. The country was to continue. The continue was not copy yet copy. So that they are continue restless. We used to aid the people to do all kinds to take our minds to what we supposed to discuss. Every legend drive over Jamaican folk on the country. Hello?
Hello, ma. How you doing?
I try you.
Wow, it's been a long time, bro.
Hello.
Okay.
Take care.
Give me your number.
My long way. I always enjoy your discussion, you and your
Okay.
brother there. You continue your good way.
Give me your number. We'll talk. Give me your number. We'll talk.
All right. Say my number. Call me.
Call it now. Call it.
0775
Yeah.
11
Yeah.
60
Yeah.
28.
All right, man.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, so
Hello?
hello.
Yeah, my name is Daniel Singawi.
Yeah, Danielson, let's hear you.
I join you from SPD Broadcasting Community. Yes, pertaining to the discussion, it's not surprised before. Because the people with no agenda at all. So anything you bring on the table, everything will be flat. We have to see 10,000 youth in this month. Let it people cigarette money down. Now,
Well, you don't put that right, brother. They are official. You don't call them cigarette more. Thank you. Thank you. You made your point. 0770907 caller and I will say hello.
Hello?
Your name and where you join us from?
Yeah, I mean, Abu Kamara, I'm calling from Chukwu Factory.
Abu, let's hear you.
Yeah, what I want to say here is that the president, Joseph Numa Boakai, first of all, we thank you for what you say. We are seeing it. For those that living in Monrovia, they thought that Monrovia is Liberia. I just came from Grand Gile. I left Grand Gile yesterday morning. I was in Monrovia 2 o'clock in the night.
Why?
So the road network is okay.
When the road network is okay.
Yeah, we are seeing things going on better.
Okay. Which road you use?
But I don't feel that it's just very important. The man just came with the sick from January to June. What he has done, we are feeling it and we're praying for him. And I'm asking God to give him long life and give him more strength to do more than what he has done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You made your point. Hello?
Yes, hello?
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm James calling from Liberia.
Go ahead, James.
Hello? Yeah, this is the SOF call to any street. I wanted to pull down to Jimmy Farm there, the land. I want to please do this for me. I need to understand that. When I put it on the ground, so please come right away and fix it. But this is a great situation now. We are taking yeah, so when I put the police down to Jimmy Farm, then the police come now. You see about it before you see power into the land, not being life, then lost life. We're not looking for.
But current running through.
No, I don't know now. And I've been so, please money in the food, just clear down and mostly clean it, hang on.
Yeah, that is high tension pole with high tension line. How did it fall? Did it fall in the open or it fell on houses or business place or whatever? Did it fall in the open?
No, it just take it right on the roadside.
Or it hasn't reached the ground, it is hovering.
No, yeah.
No, don't say I was taking them. You said the pole fell. Then you say every
This is the wooden pole for that part of.
yeah, so and break. It hasn't reached the ground yet.
Yeah.
But the wires cut.
No. Why not for the whole phone lady on the almost reach the ground, yeah, look at myself passing that time. I got it alive, but I don't power into the land, I don't know.
When that happened now?
No, I say about 12 o'clock today, I say to the pool at 12 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, we are 40 at 12 o'clock today. I guess I have to break.
Yeah, that rain was tense.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are listening. They are listening. They will move the LEC. You have to move. You have to move there. It's an emergency. You don't have to have. Thank you, my dear brother. Thank you. You did very well as a citizen. Thank you ever so much for your citizen journalism. Thank you so much. Yeah, LEC, you have to move there. You have to move there. It's an emergency. Let us not have a disaster before you move in. Please, we're back here. Thank you ever so much. So,
And
okay.
again, let me inform you, maybe some of them got in late, but the guy said he called from Jamaica Road Junction. So it's good that you go there as an authority, LEC, or you listening, you send people there. He said the wooden pole.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you hear like that, the wire can only be the one holding there. When the wire cut now, it create different disaster, like you said. Sometimes, but we would not like to wait until disaster occur before we go to manage the damage. So let me
have
inform you
to.
on the
We,
Water Liberia cash giveaway. The network was not okay. So earlier we did not announce to you, but the network has restored. Everything is on course. All you do today, we're giving out 4,000 Liberian dollars for winner. And 4,000 Liberian dollars. All you do is the usual, selection. That star 799 hash. As you enter the option will come, you select number 8 for Liberia. After selecting number 8 for Liberia, and your wallet will open, pay 100 Liberian dollars or 70 cents Liberian US, stand a chance to win your 4,000 Liberian dollars from today. So very shortly we'll be taking the first winner very shortly. So if I were you, I would just say hurriedly, maybe I'll form part of the first winner in a course of just a few minutes from now. So again, that's star 799 hash. Select option number 8 for Liberia. open a wallet and play $100 or 77 USD and stand a chance to win your 4,000 dollars on Voice of Liberia this afternoon.
Most of the poles are not strong. In fact, the wooden poles are not durable because the more it rains, the if that place is flooded or water often sits there,
Mhm.
the pole gets rotten. But I think with time we will do away with those wooden poles because I see around though the clay poles are being planted or erected.
Mhm.
The wooden poles, they aren't guaranteed. No, they've caused so many damage over the time. They quick to get rotten. Uh, okay, so let's move now
And
to
yes, let's talk on the T score, right? It's not only because of the Jamaica road situation, but the LEC, LEC, in many of the communities, you enter, you will see some of their light poles burning, laying over houses. You see some there, the cable will cut,
yeah, it's
and
because
people will
because
raise alarm.
those are wooden poles.
Yes, but it's
You
not
find that
because of that.
sometimes
At least you
yeah,
have to be very active in replacing those poles or something because you can't change the outer pole. That's the service drop.
but you see the
You get a service drop and you get a tension line.
you see the proactivism going on. You see it. If you move around the city, if you move around, the thing where you bypass, there are a couple of erections everywhere. You see they erecting those clay poles. Not necessarily that the people are not. No, they are those poles. We've been at least we should be very thankful to God that we getting to use those clay pots instead of the wooden that since 1847, since 1822, we've been using those poles. Those poles are archaic. They are antiquated. Well, they're not being used by countries, most countries around the world. If you leave Liberia, you see those poles. You can hardly see them. I can say it's only in Liberia using those rotten things.
Yeah, the
People
wooden
there,
pole.
yeah, but it's good that most of those poles, I think with time, will not have wooden poles. Yeah, LEC doing extremely well. The partners are doing well to help LEC give us a better society. They're doing well. They are erecting those wooden poles around.
So,
So,
so, so we have to take our first winner here.
yeah,
Yeah, I wanted to take the first winner. We draw our first winner to have their first 4,000 Liberian dollars, and so you can be having some things doing at the moment under this wet weather, and that's just how it is. So keep your entry through *799# hash, and as you *799# follow the instruction, and as you follow the instruction, you will see option number 8, and as you follow option number 8, you see voice Liberia, and afterward, open your wallet and put the Liberian dollars and stand a chance of winning your 4,000 Liberian dollars. So very shortly, I will take the draw off because I'm trying to experience a bit stuff here on the internet.
okay. So while you're trying to get that, let's begin with the second pointer, and that's the LDEA. The LDEA. The LDEA. Now you've heard the discussion. It went far and wide when it came out, and people shared their opinions. And we haven't discussed or talked about it in detail, except in passing on the show. But in journalism, it doesn't say if you aren't or if you are the first to talk about something when it comes out, and that's it. And those who aren't talking about it, The day they get ready to talk about it, the substance will have dwindled. It simply means everybody looks at it from a different angle. From the very first day it came out, my position was no surprise. Honestly, that's what I've always said to myself. The very first day it came up out to the the last day and then the suspension, I always told myself it is not a surprise. It's not a surprise at all. And this is why it's not a surprise, because you had, as far as I know, two desperate, desperate egos were on display. Whether somebody invited or recommended somebody is not the issue. But I will start with the first person, who is Hassan Fadiga. Why I am starting, I said it was no surprise to me because of this man. This man had the audacity to sit down on one of the networks. The man will say, will talk about the ineptitude to the core of almost all the former government officials. And he will portray himself as the one who knows it and knows everything. And he will go even to the extent of insulting. Those of you who say today, when people said on the radio, when they're talking, you say they're insulting. I'm sorry for you. Sorry to say, but that some of you carrying curse. Because the people you defended today, they were on a certain network and they were cursed. One man that I know and I have recording of him is this Fadiga man. I have Fadiga recording. If I play it in my phone, when you take the phone from me, right, it will not lost in all the computers, because any recording I have, I can share it everywhere. I send something in the cloud. So when you think that you take the recording, while time in the studio, you hear that same voice. I can share it all around, all in my gallery, everywhere, all the computers, I put all inside. I just save it. If I want it so that I will not find it difficult getting it, I will just save uh, Fadiga DLDEA. So all I need to do is to go to F. Once I click on F, all the Fadigas will come, and then I will click the one that I want. So I had the men's expression when he used to install. They were enjoying it. They will portray themselves as people who knew it to the letter, that the other people who were in power at the time, they were very incompetent. They did not know anything. That man would vilify, that man would say all kinds of awful things about George Weah. Least to talk about his people. That man went on. I listened to a certain interview during the evening hour he was on. He said a lot more. So when they appointed me, when I heard his name, I said, good. Thank God Almighty. Because life is what goes around comes around. When you criticize, you condemn, you vilify, and you portray yourself as the perfect one, the opportunity will always be afforded you so you can prove that perfection in the midst of imperfection, that you can turn the imperfections to perfection. So I was excited by his appointment. So when these things started to come up, and then there was the fight that almost led to the shootout. I said, thank God. At least he would say to himself that, or he would begin to imagine the criticism, unnecessary criticism he was saying, because he was sitting on a certain network. So he's in it now. So let him see and feel how those people who were in it, the things they were going through, that it wasn't a make-up, but the reality they were battling. But because they felt that they were outside, they were sitting on the fence, so those people were not doing anything significant. So you see how God can expose people throughout former President Ellen Johnson's early 12 years. We never saw that at DEA. We never read that at DEA. We never talked anything like that at DEA. Then came former President George Weah. Throughout his 6 years reign, we never read anything like that from DEA. We never saw anything like that from DEA. We never talked about anything like that from DEA. It is in this government, the government that portrays itself as knowing or having all of the perfections will reduce itself to that level to the extent that they almost open gun. Thank God Almighty to that guy who went in the middle. Had it not been for God first and that guy who went in the middle, either Fadiga would have been a dead person today, or AB Kroma would have been a dead person, or Fadiga would have been in hospital on emergency bed, or AB Kroma would have been in hospital on emergency bed. You go back to the video. I don't rush. I can take time about the core analysis. When you come into face the people, the congregation, the audience, it's not how you rush so that the people can hear you. It's not how who runs first. No, it's how you take your time and analyze it well, listen carefully, listen over and over and over, read it over and over, and then reach a logical conclusion so that when you say it, people would see reason. You go back to the video, watch that video and listen keenly. Had it not been for the guy who stood in the middle, somebody would have opened fire because they have gun. The video, you will hear the guy saying, "Oh, because I can't fire you slapping me. Because I can't fire you slapping me." And within that moment, the tension got heated. Somebody was going close to take a gun and fire. Anger was the order of the day, and anger is a tantrum. Tantrum is that anger that is uncontrollable. When it reaches a certain point, there is no regard for anybody. There is no second thought. Nobody wants to listen to anybody. Everybody wants to execute their ego. And when everything subsides, that's when you return to the human self. That's why you attempt not to get angry. Anger is a tantrum. So, what can Fadiga say now? What can Fadiga say? I am saying it because I'm ready to bring his recordings up. What can Fadiga say? After all those damning criticisms, saying awful things, insulted the former president, insulted his officials as being inept, incapable, all kinds of stuff. President Joseph Yuma Baga afforded him the opportunity, a reward because he sat on a network and cursed. Is that how he paid President Joseph Yuma Baga in return? He disgraced the president. He disgraced the president. That was a disgrace. We never saw that in Ellen's government. We never saw that in Weah government. We never thought we would ever see it in this government. Disgrace. Then there is the boss himself. Well, if A.B. Kroma will lose his job, he must blame himself. He shouldn't blame the president. If that investigation recommends that he be dismissed, he shouldn't blame Mr. President. If he ever attempt to blame Mr. President, I will come in Mr. President's to bash A.B. Kroma. People talking about, oh, the boss is the boss. No, that is not true. You guys, you can show insubordination to your boss. That is not true. In such a situation, listen, all I expected from A.B. Kroma to remain silent. Don't say anything. You know, when the boss, that's when the boss is the boss. I work on a couple of individuals as bosses. I've seen a lot. I heard a lot. I see how they reacted. They waited. They allowed people to talk, say what they can say, use all kinds of awful words because they know that it won't last forever.